withdrawals about the RV.
No, man, it's been great. I love that thing. We still camp here and there, but we haven't been. It's all right.
As someone who came to the Dolphins in the middle of the 2019 season, kind of rebuilding and trying to get things together to see where the team is now. I guess just what goes through your mind and what you think is for that change over the last 2-3 years.
Say that last part again. I'm sorry.
What do you think has played a role in the team kind of turning things around from 5-11 to 10-6 and trying to take that next step?
Yeah, I think a lot of what we preach here is building the culture, creating a group of guys that's close together, a family. They're going to play hard for each other. No one's here playing for themselves, and we're all here to play as 11 on each side. So I think it's building that culture has been a huge importance for this team.
What's the demeanor like in the D line? Seeing you got Christian in there, who's obviously a personality. Raekwon, what can you take us into the D line room and what that looks like on a day to day?
Yeah, we got some characters. Adam Butler loves the anime stuff. Christian's just Christian. Raekwon's Raekwon. Agba's there. Yeah, I mean it's a bunch of characters in there. It's definitely a learning. We all feed off each other. Adam's got great tips. Christian's got tips. Ray, Agba, everybody's got tips. Jenkins got lots of tips too. I think that's one of our biggest things we preach on is learning from each other. And we're never too good to learn from another player, coach, anybody like that. There's always room to improve.
What's it like for that unit where you guys know you're kind of package based and there's nobody who's gonna dominate the snaps in terms of sharing?
Mm-hmm. What's it like you said?
Yeah.
I think that kind of goes back to the whole we all play unselfish. We all play we all know who's going to be the best in what situations, and our coaches try to put us in those situations that suit us best. And I think that's part of the unselfishness here and the culture that we've built here.
So Bernardrick got released. What was your reaction to seeing a player like him?
Great player. Loved playing with him. I hope the best for him. I know the team, Mr. Greer, Coach Flo, all of them are going to do what's best for the team, and yeah.
Now, you sat in here and you listened to Sam. You kind of have a similar story. Small school, you finally got some secured, not security, but you got a new deal.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that drive that you hear him. You're probably thinking in your head, yeah, a lot of the same things. Is
Yes,
this the
sir.
type of team you want to have?
Yeah, obviously I was cut twice in Baltimore, 7th round pick. I think to me, my biggest thing was relying on God. I know He's got a plan. And kind of like what Sam said, where, is if you give your all every day and you get cut and you get kicked out, and you're not kicked out, but you're done, no one picks you up, at least you can go to bed at night knowing, hey, I gave my all. That's always been my mentality. I'm going to give my all every play. And if it happens, it happens. That's, yeah.
Have you seen guys that you're like, damn, this guy's talented, but just like you beat out a guy who you're like, damn, how's that guy not here? You know what I mean?
It's the nature of the business. I mean, this is the 0.03% of kids from high school make it to the league or something like that, 05. So, I mean, you have an atmosphere that's the best of the best around the world. And I think that's and especially here with Miami, we focus on getting the best competition. No one's safe. It's the best of the best. You can perform every day. That's why I love it here. Is we're always fighting and evolving, I guess, growing as players. That's the better way to put that.
How important is mental health for an NFL player? You're talking about this,
Mm-hmm.
of players getting cut. How important is having good mental health for being an NFL player?
Hugely, hugely. I think mental health is a huge part of the game. If you have a bad day and you bring it outside the field and you bring it into the building and you're not fully focused and there's 4 checks in one play. And if you're not fully locked in, you're not fully at your peak mental health, it's going to be a hard day for you. So I think it's a huge importance to have guys that have their stress relievers, have their ways to talk. They need a good family or foundation around them to vent to relay information, just to open up and tell what they're going through, because it's a stressful job.
You mentioned, earlier in your career, you're cut obviously twice.
Yes, sir.
How does this day feel to you now? You have a little bit more security, and maybe not sweating as much, but you still probably think back to those, those days early in your career.
Yeah, it's every day is a blessing to be in the NFL. That's how I've always looked at it. I take it one day at a time, one meeting, one practice, one game. That's kind of like the motto here. So for me, it's just God's got a plan, and what happens happens. That's really something I've tried to learn and incorporate in my life over the last 3-4 years.
What was it like for you that first time you got cut, and maybe you didn't know if another chance was coming? I don't know. What was going through your mind at that point? How did you handle it?
Yeah, the first time we were walking out the field, pulled out, hey, last day of camp, hey, thank you for all you've done. You're a good player, but we just need to go another route. I ended up signing back to Baltimore as a practice squad player. So at least I knew I was still around, still be able to put footage out there, tape out there. It's stressful, but it's definitely it's practice squad isn't there's great players all around the league in practice squad. It's not it's not just practice squad. I mean, those guys are great players. That's where I came from. That's when I got cut. That's when I ended up down here the second time. So, just always believe and just work your hardest, I guess. Hope that answered your question.
Well, what would your message be to those guys who might wake up tomorrow and they're suddenly on the practice squad, not 53?
I think that I would say definitely just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, just keep trying to grow every day. If you're giving your all and giving your best effort, stay in the book, stay in the film, because you never know when you're going to get called up and, hey, someone goes down. All right, we need to take a lot of snaps. If you haven't been looking at your playbook, you can't learn all that in 1 week or one day. Someone can go down on Friday. That's just how it is. So always stay ready is what I would say.